Well, hello guys, welcome back. I feel like I'm in the middle of a three-way war. And no, I'm not backtracking on you, I promise. Odin's here in one corner of the triangle, saying, "You belong to us. We are your gods, we're your providers. You promised us until you're not going back on your oath, and I didn't involve any of you in any of my oaths, and I didn't realize they were oaths, so I just said I would give it to you, and Odin took me up on it. Um, so I got that going on. And Odin is adamant. No other gods except for Norse gods. Now keep in mind, Norse gods are falling out of the woodwork at this point. I could have 30, 40, 50 gods if I wanted. There's a god for everything in the Norse pantheon. Just look. And I hear laughter back there. It's true. There's so many gods. There's so many gods. You could, if you wanted just numbers, you could have an endless amount of Norse gods and then throw in ancestors and land spirits. You'd be busy forever. But it's not just that. Because in the second corner is God going, "How you doing? Here's a pin. Come look at this pin. This pin's irresistible, isn't it? Remember that I've always taken care of you and I've never given up on you. I'm God, and I'm calling you. Remember what you wanted all your life? I'm calling you. Come here. I'm God." And God, if it's God calling me, can be damn irresistible because that's the thing. It's like absolutely no contest with their God, with Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him. Irresistible. Impossible to resist the urge. You can't. It's like everything you ever wanted in your life is like right in front of you. You will go for it. And the third corner are the Greek gods, and Apollo is just beyond pissed, and thankfully it's not at me. He is just looking at Odin, and then he's looking over at Jehovah, and he doesn't really care about Jehovah. His battle's with Odin. And this is personal at this point between these two. It's like they have this deep history with each other, and they just can't fucking stand each other. And he's looking, and he's like, "No, you are coming back here. You are going to be with the Greek gods." And then Dionysus pops up and goes, "Yeah, she's my priestess. She's my priestess. You can't have her. She's my priestess. You never called her your priestess. I get her." And then Loki starts to get that look on his face where smoke starts to come out of his ears, and you know he's ready to explode and curse other gods. And I don't know if he can kill other gods, but I don't want to find out. I heard I can try. I guess he can't. I forgot my Norse history there for a minute. Yeah, I'm sorry, Odin. God, I'm gonna die. Um, this is gonna be my final video. So I feel like I'm in the middle of a triangle that I have these three factions fighting over me, and it's not I'm special. I just feel torn in three different directions. Thankfully, South America and Africa have dropped out of the war. Like, oh, this is bullshit. See you later. So I only have three factions fighting in this war. Every so often, Ireland and weirdly Scotland have been trumping by, like, "Hi, how are you? When you're done being fought over, we're here." And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Because if Odin, you know Odin, if he don't want other gods talking to you, at this point, they should not be communicating with you. That said, if we stopped using Pinterest completely, I would stop seeing pins, but videos would start popping up. And I'm trying to piece together, is there this grand algorithm now online that gives me pins and gives me videos and everything else? I'm trying to be logical about this, guys. I really am. I'm trying to figure out, do they look at my Facebook and do they look at my search history and that's the pins I get? And I'm trying to be logical about this shit. I really, truly am. And I'm trying to think, well, I deactivated those boards but didn't delete them, but I found out when you delete a board, you get 10 times the pins. If I were to totally delete the Jesus board, for example, and I see heathens clutching their chest and going, if I were to totally delete that board, you think I'm getting the occasional pin now? Jesus will be falling out of the sky. All my pins would be Bible quotes and, you know, everything would be Jesus. If I were to delete the Greek board, and that's deactivated and that's all the way, same thing. All this stuff would just fall out of the sky. They might not give you stuff for a board for months or years, but the moment you deactivate that shit, they're like, oh, you interacted with it, here's 30 pins. So I think that's probably what causes it. But still feels like being in the middle of a three-way war. And Odin's argument is that if they really want you, I want the miracles for you up front. And I respect that. He's like, bullshit. I want miracles up front for you, and I want them to prove it's them. Because Odin. And I want this shit delivered to you. I'm actually taking care of your interests, which I appreciate. He said, I'm taking care of your fucking interests. If they can't give you a miracle up front and show who they are and show that they're going to take care of you, bullshit, you're staying here. And, God is like, no, you have to come to me, then the miracles will come. And Odin's like, bullshit, she's not going anywhere, you fuck off, she's mine. So, so Odin's not being very negotiating lately, ever. And he's like, no, bullshit. It's bullshit. You'll go and he'll corner you first into doing all this stuff, and then you'll be buying Bibles and hating yourself, and then you'll be going to church and giving away your last penny, and then you'll end up with nothing. But he'll have won? No, bullshit. So that's where Odin is. And Apollo and the Greek gods really haven't done anything like, okay, you want to see Greek power, here's Greek power, you're gonna, like, win this huge money or get this huge settlement or something. That hasn't happened either. So he's like, bullshit, you're staying with us. Or at least keeping your head above water. We don't mean you fucking rich, but it's bullshit if any god promises you that, and I taught you better. So if you read the Have 'em All, his advice is more along the lines of, you know what? All that money and housing and everything you got, even if you're the richest man in the world, you better fucking enjoy it because it could disappear tomorrow. So, he's like, don't depend too much on what you have, and, just fate or nature could take it away from you tomorrow. Like, you could have all the stuff in the world and end up with nothing tomorrow. So basically, Odin's calling them all out, and he knows it's hard for me because he knows humans are designed to go towards any god that calls us, and we've had this discussion before. And he knows Yahweh is over there, or Jehovah, whichever one it is, going, come here, come here. You were given to me at birth and in First Holy Communion. And then you did this other thing that I can't remember the name of, but you were given to me 3 times. Come here. You're mine. And Odin's like, bullshit, she's mine. And Odin's been asking me wistfully if I will destroy the statue of Apollo, and I said, no, we don't got any fucking money. I noticed, hey, a Hermes statue mysteriously got broken. Hermes isn't holding against me. He's like, I'm sorry, but your gods are kind of dicks. So he's holding it against me. And I'm not trying to air their dirty laundry. It's just like all these gods are fucking fighting. It's like, don't you guys remember like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago they were all fucking getting along? Now it's like this fucking ground war broke out, and I don't know what the fuck happened. I tried to sit them all down. I said, did I do something? Did I say something and one group of you took it to mean that I would get rid of the other group? Because we're supposed to all be getting along. What happened to all this kumbaya shit that was going on? But now it's a fucking ground war, and Odin had me read the Odin book. And the weird thing was, I had been watching, I don't know why, Prince of Bel-Air is coming up for me lately, and it was the stuff that really hit home, and I really felt it, and it was like, I knew it was Odin speaking to me, and he was like, I'm proud of you, because I know how fucking hard this is, and I got you, but this ain't gonna be easy. Welcome to the Rover. And he's like, he's told me before, he says, I just want to fucking detonate your bridges so you don't keep trying to run back to Daddy Sky God who's going to give you everything, because that God doesn't exist. He said, you were sold that God, but that God doesn't exist. He said, I hate to break this to you, dear, but none of us just have this magical, endless bag of goodies to give out. He said, I know that's what they tell you, and they tell you if you go and you pray on your knees and you beg, eventually God's going to reach into the goodie bag and throw it to you. He goes, that don't work. He said, you're an adult now. You're in your fucking 40s. You don't listen. And I'm looking at him like, you're destroying any faith I ever had in any God ever. He goes, yeah, I know. And he doesn't care. He goes, "You're not running back to Daddy Magical ATM Sky God, because he don't fucking exist." He says, "I know Jehovah's calling you back, but he says, all the Christians you know, what kind of fucking good is he doing them? You know, one that lives in absolute poverty is worse off than you, and she's still kissing his ass." Just looking at him like, no, heathens struggle too. He goes, "Yeah, but I never sold them a line of bullshit about, letting them win this lottery and find a hot Latin lover and living on an island." And that's nowhere in the Bible, but the church is like, well, if you suck up to God and you give God enough of your money and you leave him your property when you die, God will give you this stuff on earth. God ain't gonna give you shit. This is terrible. And it's weird that the three-way war feels like it's going on, because as I was scrolling through Pinterest, it was something came up about the tomb, and it was, I can't even remember the pin anymore, but it was something about, where do you think the body was? And I said, in the tomb, and I went, because it was about Easter Sunday, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And Odin just kind of shrugged and looked. He's like, um, it's complicated right now. It's a mess. And Odin hasn't made me any promises. Odin didn't say, if you fulfill this promise and you go to Yule, your luck's going to stay with you. I would never step on anyone else's faith, but common sense tells me it's bullshit that just because I feel my obligations to Odin, Odin's going to magically owe me. Odin doesn't owe me shit. And sometimes stuff doesn't work out that way. Every religion has a reason why. Some people will say, well, it was just your fate to have bad shit happen to you. Some people will point to, if you were Christian, you point to the story of Job, where that's just a story. Job never existed. It was meant to be a metaphor that sometimes you can lose fucking everything, but God will eventually replace it. Though that story hasn't done them favors with the atheists. But we all face tough times, and right now it's very hard for me because it feels like I'm being called three different ways at once. It feels like I'm splitting into three different pieces. And what I'd really like to do is sit on a futon and eat whatever the fuck I want to eat and have enough money and be watching cable all day and not have to worry about doing anything and have a maid and, be doing all this good stuff. And that's just not happening right now. So right now I kind of still gotta kind of hustle and do what I can. And Odin's like, tough. And he had me, I got totally off track. I went and I read the Odin book, and I do the, bibliomancy with it, and I keep flipping over. Now it is Odin, but I keep flipping to segments that deal with his warrior aspect. He talks about going through a war, and he talks about, this guy talks about, the berserker rage coming over him, and, during a war. And he didn't go crazy. It was just like actually ice cold discipline to do what he had to because he's in the middle of a war. And the rest of the chapter goes on to talk about, that nature of Odin. And you don't get to pick, in my experience, what part of Odin you work with. I keep saying, but Oski. And Odin's like, yeah, that's really cute. Guess who's here for you? And I'm like, but I don't want Battleclad. I don't want Cladahor. I want Oski. I want the cute, sweet god that gives out presents at Yule. He's like, that's not who you're getting. So it's been tough. We've had a lot of lightning storms going through, and I got off the computer for this lightning storm, and then I was on the computer. And when you know it, about an hour after the goddamn storm, the power went out twice, and this computer got zapped twice. Thankfully, it's still running. Um, I can't fucking win sometimes. But, it's tough, and I figured I'd let you guys know it's going on. In a perfect world, I could work with whatever god I want, do whatever I want. That would be my perfect world, but Odin's like, no, you gave your word. You're going to stay here, and you're going to stay in place till Yule. I know he's calling you. I know they're all calling you. It's kind of like gods aren't interested in you until one decides to take an interest in you, and then they're all in your lap. That's kind of what it feels like now. And he does have a point. The Greek gods aren't constantly here. In fact, now that Odin's laying down the law, they're not really here at all, except for vaguely. They pop in and out, and I like think I'm losing my mind. And Odin's like, "What's the matter?" And I'm like, "I swear, I just saw, whichever." And he's like, So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened to me, what god I pissed off, what god I didn't give an offering to, but it seems like for the last year and a half, the gods in communication with them have been really fucking hard. So I'm hanging in there, guys. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.